Hello viewers, welcome back to Small Gear Extra. Long time no see, I have been quite busy in life, but anyway, I've got this new video coming out and I hope you guys will enjoy it. So if you like this video, remember to subscribe and like the video and share to your friends so they can know more about these classic Japanese car. So anyway, let's get into the video. So what we are seeing in here is the new April of Tomica release, and we have some new stuff here. We can look at the Tomica Racing Series, which is the premium, and for the first time we are having two NSXs that participate in Super GT that I will talk about it later. And the rest of the release is actually very Tomica, very Japanese style indeed. And we can see two Nissan Serena of the a very popular Japanese mid-class MPV, and we have a Toyota Crown private taxi, which is a very Tomica casting, a very Tomica things to do, and it looks quite very nice. And the rest is two very famous of the Enzo Ferrari, and the box art is actually quite funny. But anyway, we'll get into the regular release first. So the first car we'll be looking at is the Toyota Crown owned driver taxi, which is in the big box format for some reason. But I think the reason to do that is to prevent the top heading addings to not to damage it. That's why they use the big box. Anyway, let's get into the casting. So this car is actually, I have to say, it reminds me of everything of the Toyota Mark X that I had. I think it was the number 64 if I remember correctly, and I do not have the Celsius or the other Lexus version of the private taxi. For some reason it's called the owner driver taxi, but back in my day it's called the private taxi. So this car is based on the number 26 Toyota Crown. We can look at it here, scale 1 to 66, and we can look at details. So it's painted in a classic Toyota Crown color, which is white, but we have the blue striped on the rest of the car, which is a very Japanese thing to behold of. And the rest of the casting is just, it's very simple, very clean, very Tomica indeed. And we can look at the top heading. This means, I think, individual or private in Japanese. So this is the first of the regular release of this month, and this car came with suspension, scale 1 to 66. And for some reason this car is really bouncy amongst all the other cars, which is quite funny. But anyway, let's get moving on to the second regular release, which is the the Nissan Serena, which is a scale 1 to 67. This is the black or slash blue version for the regular release, and the first color release is this dark red version. So let's look at the first color, the regular release version with the first color as well. So you can see the first color release is actually a very bright red color, but it is not a Enzo red, not quite a Ferrari red, but it's just a very elegant color on this car, which looks very classy indeed. But let's look at the regular first, because the regular is not bad after all, because you can see the pearlescence and the stardust effect on it, which is a very nice thing to have, because Tomica is very famous for its paint quality. And here's the rest of the casting. We can see the design, the lines are very clean, the QC control is very good, and you can see the headlight. This part get me quite a bit confused, because this is quite a the Toyota Alpha signature of the big grille, and it seems like that Nissan has taken some clue from Toyota to do that. Very, very interesting decisions from Nissan. And you can see there's so many dashes on the headlight or grille in real life. I'm not sure, because I've yet to see this car in real life, but I reckon these are the headlights, and this drop-down headlights design is actually very interesting. And so when you ask the designer how many dashes you want on the grille, and the designer say yes, and this is what you have. So this is the regular version, and no, we do not have any more of the era style of the, back in the days that they have a era style, but you know it's not longer the case because they fixed it. And this version we didn't have any error cars as on the release. So moving to the rear, you can see the Nissan logo is very clean. The Serena logo is very clean. Highway Star. Yep, this is a Highway Star trim, I believe, because I'm not a MPV expert, but I think it's the trim level of this car. So look at the first color version. It's more or less the same, with a more nice red color that makes the borderline more sharp. You can see this swooping is from down there to up there. It's quite like a step wagon, frankly, which is very simple but not overstyled as well. It's very stylish. Look at the grille. The overall design just flowed together, but I found the A pillar is quite funny in that regard, and how the painting doesn't go right off, so it's quite funny to me. So here's the first color release, and we can zoom onto it a bit. And the top roof, which has aerodynamic designs to it and a fin, and unfortunately my example has been scratched from the factory, so we etched to the Tomica patina of collections. So sees the scale is 67, making Vietnam. And interestingly, this box it wrote 23 instead of 24, so you can see it's 23 here. Which is quite interesting because I remember correctly the taxi, yeah, it looks 24. So my initial thinking is the number 94, they were meant to assign it earlier last year, but they didn't do it, so they postponed it to this year, and it becomes the 2024 April release of the Tomica. So these are the regular release of this month, and I have to say they are all very nice, and I like the taxis quite a bit. So anyway, let's move on to the next styling of the rest of the car. So let's get to the regular premium, which is the Ferrari Enzo. Which is a very desirable car in real life. You can see a Ferrari official product, and scale 62, unfortunately not 64. For some reason, they didn't use the real car art on the Ferrari Enzo boxes, which is quite interesting decision to make. But regardless, let's look at these two bad boys. I have no words for this. These two cars are absolutely out of this world. Look at the design. It is absolutely gorgeous. The red is very classic, and the black, it just looks like a villain car, When you see a villain in a movie, like maybe Batman, I don't know. Batman is not really villain, but you get the idea. Imagine Batman driving this car in New York City. It is just a cool car. You don't need any explanation to this, but anyway, we'll look into this car for quite some bit. Let's zoom in a bit for the details. So you can see the lines on the premium. They have quite topped the quality on Ferrari's casting for some reason, but not with the Nissan Silvia. It was quite a disastrous casting from last year, but for the Enzo, I think they nailed this one. It looks really great, and if I have anything to complain about it, it has to be the wheel size, because I know for a fact in real life the Enzo, the rear wheels is larger than the front, but in this case on this miniature model, they are the same, which I actually sacrilege for me to say this. I like it more quite some bit because I think it's more balanced. So you can look at the front. The headlights are plastic, and here's some fans, and you can see the Ferrari badge on the bonnet, and he's on the fender with the Ferrari badge, very distinctive, very clear, very clean. And here's to the rear, and we can see the diffusers are nicely arranged with the exhaust as a detail, and you can see the little printing on the rear on the exhaust intake vent, something like that. I'm not a Enzo expert, so forgive me on this. Anyway, this casting, I'm speechless. I really like this casting, and we have to talk about the interior detail as well. So you can see the interior details are carefully arranged and beautifully arranged, and very realistic to the real car. And you can see the engines in behind. Here's the bottom end of the Enzo, scale 62, no more writing on it. So here's the Enzo of premium, and we can look at the first color with a brief demonstration onto it. So here's the black Enzo. The detail has been faded out because of the black color, but the rest of the printing is still very nice, very clean. So it is quite a rare sign to see an Enzo in this color configuration. I'm not sure what other color configuration is there for an Enzo, but I would say black one, it has a special place in my heart because I was playing Gran Turismo 7, and this is the one of the cards I got from the lucky draw, and it looks exactly like this. It is almost uncanny in that regard. But anyway, here's the Enzo, and I love them simply. They are amazing. So let's address the elements of the month. Okay, so we have the NSX Super GT race car. So look at these bad boys. So what do you think about them? They is really nice, but it has its own compromise. Okay, so let's look at the more creative or interesting one. Let's say I'm not very well known to the Super GT class, but look at this. The new NSX is such a superstar that has been forgotten by everyone else. I think it is a fantastic car in real life, and it 100% in the future this car will become a future classic, not a miniature version, but the real life counterpart of this thing. So we can check the livery on this NSX. I'm so sorry that I don't know the team. I should have done my homework, but I didn't do it because I was quite busy. So you can see, look at the liveries. You can see the ZF, which is a Hong Kong retailer for Mercedes and other car vehicles, and you see Honda's Mobile, Bridgestone, and all these NGK spark plugs, all this other stuff, and the painting, that's very nice. And moving to the rear, here's the rear design. The wings are plastic, and you can just wiggle it, and they actually come with this little guy to hold the wing in place, which is I don't think they're functioning at all because you can see the wing is a bit tilted, but that's fine. No suspension on the NSX, but you got the door opening functions. How about this? Check this out. This is the interior of the NSX. Oh, the other door closes. Here's the NSX of the race car version, and the screen wipers is actually in the middle. It's a very race car thing to have, and I quite like that detail. It's a scale to 63 for the new NSX. So let's look at the black one. And the black one is basically a full carbon fiber replica of the real number 99 car, which I think is actually quite cool if you're into that sort of stuff. But you'll see the paint's difference, that they're not quite the same, and it is finished in a matte color configuration. But I think it is nice because every carbon fiber's car is special in my heart, and the wing is tilted on the right side for this car and on the left side for this car. So funny things to behold of. So here's the rest of the NSX. Right place in the middle, and here's the the logo on the on the windshield, and this car has the opening doors as well. So what do I think about the NSX in this regard? I think it is a very nicely executed casting, but I think they focus on the realism way too much. For example, you can see the rear. I don't know if real cars like this. I wish this car is even lower to the ground. I think it still has too much clearance, and I think they should like adapt some of the Hot Wheels philosophy of making the wheels very big and make the car stand very aggressive, because this is a race car, right? So you can actually see the wide body kit on this NSX. It's actually quite interesting, especially this part. So this is what I would do to the NSX if I have to improve it in this regard. And now we have to rate for my favorite car, or your favorite car. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. But my favorite, I have to give it to the Taxi or the Enzo. It is a very difficult choice, okay? Well, look at it in this way. I think the Taxi is a very nicely executed little toy car by Tomica. I love it in every single way. If I have the money, and I probably will buy some, more of the same replica, because it is nice to see the owner-driver taxi variants go back to the Tomica line model. And I would say this car played a lot of a big role in my childhood, and that's why I like this car so much. But excluding the factor of childhood memory, I would say the Enzo is absolutely gorgeous. Look at this baby. It is absolutely gorgeous. Well, I mean, the side profile looks a bit funny now, but in person, I think it looks pretty nice. And the details on this car is absolutely out of this world. Well, it is not a particularly expensive car, like a expensive premium, because they don't have, it's not like the Crown previously, which is more expensive than a regular premium for some reason. But this one, just come for the same price, and I think it's actually a really good collection if you're looking into collecting some Tomica premium. So for this month, all these cars are all absolutely gorgeous. I love them all. And next week, I mean the next month, we're gonna see some new Toyota Prius and all the other cool stuff as well. So I'm hoping to see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.